Hello and welcome to Insights, the podcast with your host, Joe Parnay. Join me in this deep exploration of our personal journeys from ambition to meaning, where we stop living life fast and start living life deep. This is a journey of waking up and realizing that our lives have never been about us, but about others. True success leaves positive ripple effects on other souls. I believe that success needs to be redefined from our own personal ambitious endeavors to be redefined as the value that we leave and give to others around us. Join me now as we begin this journey to deeper connections, even more fulfillment, some fun, curiosity, life, love, and all good things. Your deeper journey from ambition to meaning starts right now. Hey everyone, it's Joe here. Welcome to episode 71 and the first podcast episode for 2022. I can't believe 2022 is here upon us. Who knows what kind of year it's been? It's certainly been quite challenging for all the obvious reasons on many different levels over the last 2 years. And it sounds like we've started the 2022 with a bang, haven't we? With a new strain and all of the stuff going on in the media about what's going on. But anyway, I'm not here to commentate on the state of affairs. I'm here to share some insights into human behavior. And what I want to focus on is 2022 and the three graces. And of course, the word grace can be used interchangeably with the word kind. You know, there are many different definitions of grace, but to me, the closest linguistic neighbor of the word grace is the word kindness. And these three graces, so we're going to hop into those in a moment. I've just got some housekeeping I want to share with you before I focus into the energy of the three graces. And that is, of course, coming up on Feb 10, Feb 11 is the first of only 4 trainings for next year, for this year, I should say, 2022, because we're already in 2022, my God. Is that on Feb 10, Feb 11, we've got the first free intro to EDIS training coming up. It's on Zoom. It's a free training. You can actually book in for that quite easily by just going to my website, just joeparnay.com.au, click events, and under there you'll see it's pretty straightforward. So the eDisc is a behavioral profiling instrument. Whether you're a coach or whether you're not, whether you're, even if you're just curious about human behavior, and I dare say you probably are, considering that you're listening to this podcast, is that it's a day and a half where we get to explore very thoroughly and deeply what drives the human condition when it comes to our profile. And then for people who want to continue the journey beyond that, you're welcome to join me in the internationally accredited, evidence-based accreditation training, which is at the end of March. So feel welcome to pop along. That was Feb 10, Feb 11, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Melbourne, Sydney time on day 1, and just 10 till 1 on day 2. I think it's a Thursday, Friday. All right. So the three graces, what are these three graces and what are you talking about, Joe? So first of all, let me just share with you that without these three graces, we can't psychologically survive. We can't live emotionally, energetically, spiritually, or psychologically without these three graces. These three graces is what provides the wheels of momentum in our lives. It's these three graces that actually is like the amplification kit, if you like, of how we create meaning. And as you all know, for a lot of you who've been following me for a long time, you've often heard me share with you that we are meaning-making machines in a world without meaning. And of course, when I say a world without meaning, I'm not talking about doom, gloom, and all that kind of stuff. I'm just saying that we come along and we create our interpretation of our experiences. So we're walking along the street or whatever it is that we're experiencing, and we interpret that experience through the meaning that we give it. And these three graces influence very strongly. They flavor completely and absolutely color every part of our experience. And that's what I want to focus on here. So the first grace out of the three, the first grace is the grace of faith, F-A-I-T-H. Now, faith is often confused and only dedicated to religious faith. That's not what I'm talking about here. By faith, I'm talking, well, it includes religion, but it's not just religion. By faith, I mean your belief system. Now, our belief system is nothing more, nothing less than our convenient assumptions of reality. Our beliefs are our convenient assumptions of reality. And that's what our faith is. Our faith is our belief system. It's what we believe to be true. It's what we believe to be of value. It's what we believe to be not of value. It's what we believe to be lesser value, more value, maximum value. It's our belief system, speaking of value, dances very closely with our values. Our values and our belief systems are together entwined in a behavioral romance that lasts forever. You can't separate the two, because your values influence strongly our belief system, and our belief system brings our values alive through what we choose to experience in our lives. So faith is really the core expression of our belief system. So, okay, so what's it got to do with 2022 and what are you talking about? All right, so be loyal to your faith. Be loyal to your belief system. And you remain loyal to your belief system by being graceful, which means being full of kindness and having a profound respect for self and for others, Now, for many of us, perhaps, this has been quite a challenge over the last couple of years. But nothing matters more than you being loyal to your soul, to be loyal to the faith that you have, to be loyal to the philosophy that you believe in, to be loyal to your belief systems. And I'll add this, whilst still being open to new belief systems, while still being open to other forms of faith, while still being open to other philosophies. Because your philosophy and mine, our belief systems are not a closed system. It might seem that way, and for many it is, but fundamentally it's not. Our belief systems are designed to evolve and grow. I mean, imagine if humankind still had the same belief systems from 250 years ago. I mean, we just wouldn't be here anymore. We'd be totally gone. Imagine if you still lived, if you and I lived, I'm not sure what age you are, so I'm 51. So if I still lived via the belief systems of what I had when I was 19 or 20 years of age, there is no hope in hell that I would be still married to my wife still, like we're 25 years married. There's no way my marriage would survive with those belief systems of 20, when I was 20 years old. So our belief systems evolve all the time. They evolve, expand. So faith is something that's quite flexible. It's quite dynamic. But at the same time, wherever we are at in 2022, we need to remain loyal to our faithful belief system around whatever we believe, whatever our beliefs are about spirit, about consciousness, about money, about relationships, about business. We need to be loyal to that. And it's our faith that is the expression of our values. Now, of course, our values are our emotional compass. It directs us. So without faith, we can't create meaning in anything. Because if I'm experiencing, something in a relationship, well, there's no way that I can have a meaning that I can attribute to my experience in that relationship if I don't have a belief system that goes along with it and a value system that goes along with it. So all of this is an eclectic blend. Faith is an eclectic blend of our belief systems and value system. And to add to this, because with values can be quite a confusing area to work on for some people, and our values are within us. In other words, what I mean by that, our values are to be self-discovered, and that's probably a conversation for a whole other podcast, because self-discovery, I actually believe that we're born ready-made, and the journey of life is to discover what we're made of, and that's a whole other conversation. I might save that for episode 72. But here we're talking about faith. So our faith, our belief system, and our values dance together, which contribute massively to the meaning or the interpretations that we are creating around all of our experiences. The second grace is hope. Having a positive expectation of the future is what the positive psychology people say. My definition of hope is just simply having something to look forward to. Having something that you're wanting to breathe life into. And there are two kinds of hope. There's micro hope and macro hope. Micro hope is having something to look forward to on a daily or weekly basis. It could be some sort of ritual or hobby that you love doing. A lot of you know that I love my running. I love physical activity. I love, anything to do with running or, gym work or, that kind of stuff. And just recently here in Noosa, yes, I know, I love saying that. Here where I live in Noosa, I just like yesterday, I met these beautiful people a few weeks ago, and yesterday, we did the 16-kilometer trail run through one of the most beatific, most gorgeous places on earth, through the Noosa forest and the trails. I felt like I was one of those Avatar characters, running through Pandora, just amazing. So that was something to look forward to. So we all need to have something to look forward to on a weekly basis. That's hope. Because without hope, it's extremely difficult, I'll even say impossible, to develop any momentum in your life or to create any energy in your life moving forward. So that's only micro hope I'm talking about. There's also macro hope. Macro hope are the bigger picture things. So here we are at the very early stages of 2022 at the time of this recording. By the time this gets released, which will be probably in another 5 or 6 days, but at the time of this recording, as I'm speaking to you, it's the 4th of January, 2022. And macro hope is really important. It's important all the time. But what are you looking forward to this year? What are you wanting to create this year? What do you want to breathe life into this year? I know that there's so much that we want to achieve this year. We want to find our new home. Professionally speaking, there's a new skill sets that I want to develop in my repertoire of what I do for a living, and a whole bunch of other things associated with that. So what are you looking forward to? What are you wanting to bring in? What kind of people do you want to meet? Or what kind of people do you want more of in your life? Or hope is just having something to look forward to. And without hope, we've got nothing. Without hope, we have nothing. We all need something to look forward to. As we say, in the coaching space, there's nothing more powerful than the why frame. The why frame is knowing why you're doing something. What's that dream, that vision, that quest, that purpose that you're working toward? When I left my old job back, 15, 16 years ago when I started my coaching business, there was two motivations. One motivation, which was really strong in me, was to stop working 9 to 5, was to get off the what they call the hamster wheel of life. I was very strongly motivated to move away from that, because I knew for me personally, if I stayed on the hamster wheel, I was heading toward depression, and I don't say that lightly. So I had to get off the hamster wheel. And then the other thing is that my wife hated her job too. So we both couldn't just stop working and be unemployed. We had a mortgage and all this sort of stuff. So I thought, okay, well, if I get good enough at this coaching and training and human behavioral stuff and I can create a business, then hopefully I can create an income where she can leave her job and she can, be free of that. And if we want to have children and, we can give that a red hot go and all that kind of stuff. So my motivations were strong. So the hope that I had back in 2006 when I started my coaching business was the hope of being competent enough at what I was doing so I would never have to get onto the hamster wheel again, and also to be competent enough to make enough money so we had the freedom of choice for my wife to leave her job and be free of that, so we could have, we could put every energy and every effort into having babies. And fortunately enough for us, 6 months later, 10 months later, a year later, whatever it was, we were blessed with our twin boys. So the point I'm making is the why frame in life. Without a why, how has no meaning. Let me say that again. With no why, how is meaningless. Our why is our hope. It's what we're hoping for. It's what we're wanting to bring into our lives. It's having something to look forward to. And then there's a delicate act, the delicate balance of doing that without attachment. That's probably another conversation as well. So these first two graces are super important for our psychological well-being, for our psychological survival, and for how it is that we create meaning in our lives. Faith is the first grace, which is essentially made up of our beliefs and values. So you've got to remain loyal to those, whilst remaining open to the possibility that you and I are wrong about certain things in life, and being open to new things and being behaviorally and energetically flexible with our belief system. But having faith and living all we can do is do the best with what we have in this current moment. So I know that you know that. So faith is about being loyal to your values and to your belief system. That is extremely important. I'm probably emphasizing it more than perhaps the next person because loyalty happens to be one of my values. So ironically, being loyal to loyalty is really important to me. Being loyal to your soul, to your emotional compass, to your values, to your beliefs, I think is of the utmost importance. I think it's a core ingredient in becoming a mature human being, is remaining loyal. Loyalty itself carries wisdom. The wisdom of knowing when to quit and the wisdom of knowing when to stick. That's big. So faith is the first grace. The second grace, as I've just shared with you, is hope. We all need something to look forward to. We need a why in our lives. Without a why of any kind, every action that we do has no meaning. I mean, to give you an example, to give you a very simple example of what I mean by with no why, or how it has no meaning, is many years ago in this running group that I was part of back in Melbourne, every morning before we start running, the coach would get us to do these running drills, hopping on the spot, doing some sideways sort of dancing, skipping, all these different things that to me at the time made no sense. And I remember feeling absolutely I had no motivation at all to do these exercises at 5:30 in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning, whatever time it was, before our session. And I used to just think, why are we doing this? And my energy would drop. And it wasn't until one particular morning, for some reason, that our coach just started sharing with us the reason why we do these drills. He says, so these drills are designed to strengthen the ligaments in your ankles. It's designed to prevent injury. We do these drills so we can detect early onset of injury. So if there's a vulnerability that you're feeling in one of the drills that you're doing, then you shouldn't be running because it's guaranteed that you're going to injure that particular muscle group if your running drills are giving you feedback on how you are feeling. He gave us a very strong why frame. Suddenly I was motivated to do the actual running drills. So without a why, we have nothing. So without hope, we are hopeless. I'm not trying to be smart here, but it's true. It is true. It is true linguistically, and it is true when it comes to our life. Without hope, we are hopeless. We need hope. We need micro hope and macro hope. Micro hope sits on the shoulders of our rituals that we do every week, hobbies that we have in our lives that I can't speak highly enough of. So important to have a hobby in your life that makes your soul sing. And maybe that's something you can bring into your life if you don't have it. You got to have it. You got to have something, whether it's musical, creative, artistic, physical, whatever it might be. And then there's macro hope. What is it that you want to bring into your life this year? What do you want to breathe life into? What's a journey that you've been afraid to take that this year is the year to start making the steps toward that? What's the macro hope? What's the macro hope? And I've got some, macro hopes that excite me in my business coming up this year. So what is it for you, right? And then the third grace is love. The third grace is love. And by love is more, in the context of this conversation, love is more an attitude than anything else. It's the attitude of joy, the attitude of ingratiating ourselves with kindness and ingratiating others with kindness. Love is having a profound respect for ourselves and for others, no matter how similar or how different they are to us, right? That's what it is. So love is where in every, to do the best that we can in every waking moment of our lives, to bring love into every micro moment, into every micro thought. To be kind to that stranger that's walking past you in the supermarket aisle, to smile at the person that you see beside you in the traffic lights or whatever it might be. It's an attitude that you bring to every nook and every cranny of your life. It's an attitude. It is an expression of divinity. Everything is an expression of divinity. Everything is consciousness. Consciousness is divinity, and divinity is consciousness. Everything is an expression of that. It is the arrogance of the ego to believe that anything exists outside of divinity. And I'm not talking about divinity from a religious context. I'm talking about it from a consciousness reality prospect. Like everything is living in a very automated, beautiful, poetic, beautiful way. Like you and I don't have to wake up in the morning and go, okay, start breathing, start pumping the heart, start circulating the blood, start moving that lymph. We don't, all that happens automatically. It happens automatically. So faith, hope, and love, the three graces for 2022, the three graces for the rest of our lives, is that faith, hope, and love are the three most significant focus points that all of us can have in our lives. Because without those three graces of faith, hope, and love, we are psychologically barren. We cannot survive. We cannot survive. We cannot live without these three graces. So just to summarize very, very quickly as I wrap up, right? Faith is being loyal to your beliefs and to your values and expressing those in a very healthy way without being a pain in the ass to other people, okay? Because we've got to be respectful of other people's different belief systems and value systems. So we've got to know, when to hold them, know when to fold them, that kind of thing, right? So I actually saw him once in the Virgin Lounge a few years ago. What's his name that sings that song? Oh my God, I've gone blank. Anyway, someone will be screaming out his name and I won't be able to hear you. So faith, being loyal to your values and your beliefs. Second grace. The second grace is hope. Because without it, we're hopeless. Without it, we've got nothing. Always having something to look forward to. Always working towards something. Hope means having a why that brings meaning into your everyday how, your everyday actions. Everything that you're doing is for a reason. It's just beautiful. Without a why, our how has no meaning. So that's what hope is. And the third grace is love, a divine love. It's an attitude of essence. It's who you're choosing to be. It's conferring with yourself. That's a word I've just made up. It's checking in with yourself. That are you about to express yourself from love or are you expressing yourself from ego? Because the ego is not, how do I say it? The ego's got its own agenda. It's got something to prove and something to defend all the time. Whereas love does not have anything to prove or anything to defend. So faith, hope, and love, the three graces, not only just for 2022, but for the rest of our lives together. Okay? So as we approach the 22nd minute mark, I just noticed that. What a fluke that is. Let me wrap up. So once again, just some quick housekeeping. February 10, February 11 is the first of only 4 free introduction to eDisc training. It's a behavioral profiling training, which whether if you're curious about human behavior and about how people tick, it's a wonderful event to come along. It's free because it gives you an opportunity to explore the realm of behavioral profiling very thoroughly. You'll get to learn some stuff there that you can bring into every part of your life. And then it's free because then it gives people an opportunity to check it out to see if maybe becoming accredited in extended disc becomes something that's part of their business. It's like an instrument that you can become internationally accredited in that's purely evidence-based, that's been around for a long time, that I've been using in my coaching business now since 2010. So, which has provided lots of great value to so many markets and different communities that I've worked with over the years. So Feb 10, Feb 11, the way that you actually click into that is just go to my website, joepane.com.au, and go to events. And in there, you will see the registration link. It's quite straightforward. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this opening episode of 2022, and I'll tune in with you again very, very soon. Thanks so much for listening. Bye for now. I'm Joe Pane, and you've been listening to Insights, the podcast. If you haven't yet, subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. You can now follow my insights on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'm looking forward to being with you again very soon in the next episode of Insights, the podcast.